You can do this. What is up, my little crops? Web Potato here, your cause of the Helsinki Hydreikas. God damn it, Frosted, what you made me to do. Anyways, let's do the proper intro, shall we? What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis here, your cause of the Helsinki Hydreikas, and I'm here for my UBL D-League Season 1 Week 8 battle versus JBWestside and his team being the Arkansas Razorwinds. Pretty hard team for me to pronounce, but that's gonna be his team that we are going up against. And let's go and see that what kind of roster I had to prepare for, as I'm gonna be breaking down the team of 6 that I'm gonna be bringing and what's basically in stake at this point of the season on the second last game of the regular season for us. So the team that my opponent has for this remaining of the season, you can see in front of your screen. And now I'm gonna be breaking through quickly the sets that I have. We have a 4 attacks Mega Gallade with Drain Punch, Close Combat, Fire Punch and Ice Punch. The idea with Dual Stab in fighting is that with Drain Punch I'm able to check a Dragon Dance Mega Tyranitar as long as he's Jolly Nature, taking a Crunch guarantee after Stealth Rocks and blow it back with a Drain Punch and gain the health back instead of dying to the Sand Recall that it forces me to take when it sets it up if I happen to only rely on Close Combat. And Close Combat is there to ensure a 2-hit KO after Stealth Rocks on Vaporeon and Oko Rapidash from full unless he's super bulky that I for some reason cannot Oko from or with Close Combat in itself. And just besides dual fighting stab, I then have the elemental punches to cover the other things that I needed that I figured are more likely to come, or things that I was really fearing the most and I needed to respect with Mega Gallade to check them with. Then we have a Choice Bandit Adamant Kyurem-Black with Outrage, Dragon Claw, Fusion Bolt and Iron Head. I know I'm not running Ice Stab versus a team that has been criticized for being Ice Weak team. It's crazy, but I have a reason behind it, and that's basically because his main Dragon Resist, Dragon Resist is the regular Scissor and his fairy type is the Comfy, so neither of those will be really good switches to this thing. So I wanted to go with something like Choice Bandit set, which will be 2-shotting and 1-hit KOing everything no matter what, including the Mega Tyranitar, which on paper looked the only thing that really can take Kyurem-Black's Ice Beams consistently without having to fear something like Hidden Power Fire that Scissor would have to do. So I took the route of Choice Bandit instead because of that. Then we have a Expel Belt Greninja with Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Hidden Power Fire and U-Turn. No Water Stab due to the fact that I wanted to have the momentum in U-Turn into my Kyurem-Black when I'm luring things like Vaporeon for example. And then I have the Hidden Power Fire for the Scissor to be able to check even a Sword Dance variant, because we do resist the Bullet Punch and take it quite well actually. Because of the HP investment I'm able to run in this matchup. Then we have a standard, well not standard, but spread wise it's standard size method as fully physically defensive, and we are running a Skull, Protect, Toxic and Refresh set, and this is kinda like a Starbreaker set versus the Zapdos and Vaporeon, while functioning as a defensive pivot versus things like Landorus Incarnate or a Rapidash barring a Hidden Power Grass or a Solo Beam coming into its way. Then we have a standard Bob, the Alola Mug with the Recycle Figgy Berry set, but we are running Poison Jab, Knockoff and Brick Break instead of Pursuit. I wanted to have Brick Break just in case for the Mega Tyranitar, so it doesn't have freedom to set up versus me completely free, because it's able to resist my Dual Stab and take them very well and become problematic otherwise. And then the final member of the team is gonna be like a max HP bulkiest, while at the same time I have enough attack invested Landorus-Therian with Ground DMC to Oko a max HP Mega Tyranitar from full, while at the same time functioning as a pivot versus a Choice Bandit Scissor or a Hitmonlee, for example, while also providing me momentum in U-turn, so like a U-turn core with the Greninja. We also have Stealth Rocks on it for able to set those up, and also having Defog just in case if he happens to bring a lot of hazards versus me, which I would like to get rid of. So very standard bulky offensive team, nothing too special in that regard. And now let's go and see how this battle is gonna be turning out. And in regards to what is in stake in this battle is that my opponent is already confirmed to be outside of the playoffs, so you may or may not know what that could potentially mean from my opponent's team building aspect of it. If you don't know what I try to hint towards, well, you're in for a surprise for sure. And for my sake, while I knew that this could be potentially a case that he could try to surprise me, I wanted to make sure that I'm prepared as best as possible no matter what I seen in front of me. And I saw a lot of different modes that I was anticipating of, which you are able to see from the right side of the screen as well from the layout. And I'm gonna be leading out with my Mega Gallade, cause it matches up the best versus everything, and it can OHKO or 2-hit KO basically everything, barring a Palossand, which I didn't expect to be his lead of choice versus my kind of team. So he's gonna be leading up with his Rose Red, and here I'm gonna be clicking Ice Punch because it's able to hit this thing super effectively and be able to kill it, unless he happens to be a Yachi Berry Rose Red. And you're gonna be seeing that this is actually gonna be able to take it relatively well and show to be a Poison Jab Rose Red. So this is a Adamant Max Attack Rose Red in front of me holding a Yachi Berry. So that was interesting, a berry of choice for him to take, but it worked out for him because instead of killing it, I had to take that chip damage with Poison Jab, but thankfully I didn't get poisoned and starting to get worn down even further than that. And I'm kind of like hitting myself in the fact that I didn't click Fire Punch and that Yachi Berry actually came into clutch for him. But when I look at his team of 6, the Ice Punch was more spammable than Fire Punch was, and I didn't expect a Yachi Berry Rose Red to be a thing versus me. But here he went into his Palossand and I went into Kyurem-Black because I take any hit. And I can go for the Choice Bandit Outrage versus this Palossand and basically just break it down immediately, or whatever would dare to swap into me would have kept OHKO clearly from a Choice Bandit Adamant Kyurem-Black. But here Palossand will actually go down as the curse is gonna be happening to my Kyurem-Black, and the curse will actually gonna be forcing me to take recall, while at the same time I am locked into the outrage because I only burned one of them, which means that I am forced to stay in versus this Hitmonlee, which is gonna be going for the Endure, meaning that he is most likely a Unburden set with a Lychee Berry, as you can be able to tell very quickly, which means he is +2 speed through the Unburden and +1 attack with the Berry boost. And here I am still sort of forced to stay in because I don't want to swap into anything at this point. I figured that Landorus-Therian's health is more necessary than try to keep Kyurem-Black as a sack, so I opted to stay in at this point and rather get a free switch into my Landorus-Therian and make sure that this thing can come in and go for the U-turn on the following turn. But you're gonna be seeing that the hardest hitting move that he opted to able to hit the Landorus-Therian, and I guess cause he doesn't have Ice Punch, I guess there is nothing really he can hit me hard in the bounce. He went for it and dodged my first U-turn, but then I happened to actually dodge the bounce itself, which is pretty unfortunate for my opponent, and lucky for me because I'm able to preserve my Landorus-Therian at full, finish that thing off and avoid potentially getting paralyzed, which could or could not come into play for the remaining of the battle. Here I brought Greninja in, banking on the fact that if I bring it in, Rapidash would not dare to come in, and the last two moves being the Landorus Incarnate and Latios, I can at least do a significant damage, if not OHKOing them as well with my coverage. But because I don't have the water type move, I have to swap out, knowing that there is a good chance him being the Sea Sunny Day Rapidash on its own, but I still didn't feel like I should be risking Greninja at this point if he happens to be something else, just in case. So I went into my Seismic Toad after I saw the C-move being activated, but then I saw from the miles away that the Solar Beam is gonna be coming to my way. So I go into my Bob, the Alola Mach, which will be taking this relatively well, but this shows to be a fully specially attack invested Rapidash, but I wasn't able to tell if he is timid or modest, which still can be problematic. And here I swap back into my Seismic Toad here, and now my goal basically here is, as I get burned by the Fire Blast, but I guess that's kind of like a payback for me dodging the bounce itself. But what this means is that now I'm gonna be revealing to Protect instead of last turn, because I wanted to buy him to the fact that he can freely now go for the Solar Beam and start playing some mind games versus this Rapidash, because my end goal here is to make sure that Greninja can come in for free when the Sunny Day is not activated, and I can go for the Dark Pulse to finish this thing out. So that's kind of like the end goal that I have to do with the Seismic Toad here, and stay in here and hope for the fact that he doesn't click the Solar Beam and tries to now predict the Alola Mach coming in, which I already did once. So the goal was there to force some mind games, and then I have to kind of bank on the fact that I get these calls right. And now basically, once I was able to burn out his first Sunny Day, he is gonna be activating again to be able to use the Solar Beams, because he knows he needs that to be up to not only be able to hit my Seismic Toad, but also avoid the Greninja revenge killing this Rapidash from the range it's at. And here I'm just basically trying to, again, burning these turns to the point that I'm able to bring it in for free. And whether I'm able to bring the Greninja in or not, immediately once the Seismic Toad goes down, while the sun is not up, I basically have to manage my mons to the point that the Greninja is always alive and healthy for taking a neutral Fire Blast from the Rapidash while the sun is not being up. That's kind of like the end goal that I had to take, while the Rapidash is quite putting a lot of heat versus me, pun intended, with this kind of set. This is not the set from all the meme sets that I thought would be putting the most of the work versus me throughout the battle or doing the prep itself, but special Rapidash apparently is a thing, and me not having the water stab on the Greninja kinda allowed this to happen. But I had relatively good reasons to think that the prep that I had with Greninja was solid enough for the matchup normally, but obviously on this case it wasn't really working out. But finally we are able to put ourselves in a position that the Sunny Day is not up, and now, as you can tell, the Fire Blast won't literally do anything to my Greninja, and we finish it off with a Dark Pulse. And now the two mons remaining are the Landorus Incarnate and the Latios. And here I'm gonna be basically just staying in. I'm respecting what is in front of me and click the Ice Beam. And this thing doesn't show to be Choice Scarf, neither a Focus Sash, so that is very dead. Landorus Incarnate, and now only the Latios is remaining from his behalf. And now I go for the U-turn just to see what this Latios is all about. Swap into Bob, the Alola Mach, because it can take any one hit and potentially be forced to eat its berry, which means that then the second hit won't be killing it either, while I'm getting the chip damage on the Latios itself too with the U-turn, as he reveals to be the Dragon Dance, which I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna expect him to carry Earthquake 100% on this kind of set versus a Alola Mach on a Dragon Dance Latios. I thought in general he would be having Earthquake, either being meme or not to be the case for the matchup itself. And he's gonna reveal to have Dragon Claw instead, either predicting me or not be able to even hit the Alola Mach at all. But that's gonna be working out just fine for me, because I went into Landorus-Therian, neutralizing attack, and finish it off with a U-turn. And that is gonna be 4-0 win for us, which is quite nice, considering the fact that the Rapidash put so much work. And in case you don't wanna get spoiled by some of the results of the other game, I will be recommending you guys just to end the video here, and thank you for watching this game, and resume to watch the other games of the UBL itself too. This is basically all about the standing itself, regards what I'm gonna be spoiling, what is gonna be influencing me, and about the first seed. But I can say now, after this game and knowing the result of the Skyrander's battles going to the last week, we should be now secured as the #1 seed confirmed going into the playoffs, because I only have one game remaining, and sitting at 8-0 and plus 29, and Skyrander actually now having 2 losses under his belt. He cannot outpass me anymore in the standing itself, where he actually was able to put a lot of pressure, well, not a lot of pressure, but significant enough of pressure that I wanted to make sure that I can still keep him out from the #1 seed, and just have it for myself, I guess, for the pride factor, and maybe I'm gonna be having beneficial match or not, depending completely on the playoff race between the 4 and 4 teams that you see in front of your screen as well, within the playoff position right now or outside looking in. And that is gonna be a very interesting playoff series or battle to watch between all those 5 teams, to see which 2 of them can actually make it and which one is gonna end up being the 4th seed for me to face in round 1 of playoffs. But thank you all for watching. This is gonna be the week 8 battle for my behalf in the UBL D-League. Make sure to check out my opponent. His link or his YouTube channel link will be down below in the description. I'm sure you would enjoy go and see his team building as he breaks down his meme sets, what they were actually dedicated to do, besides what you were able to see on the battle. And until the next video for my behalf, which is gonna be hopefully uploaded tomorrow, regards to the MPL Majors Season 9 Week 6 battle versus Carney Hobo. Until then, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the more UBL D-League content from my behalf and the NPL Majors by subscribing to the channel. And until next time, thank you all again for watching, and until next time, I'll be see you guys later.